All right, welcome to a Real Man, Real Gamer podcast hosted by one and only Delta Gamer. Now, we got a couple things on the dockets that we're going to be talking about today. So, the first thing we're going to be talking about is E3 Delph. Honestly, the Delph of E3 doesn't really mean anything to me at all. It's just, I would say after 2016, maybe 2017, it was just like, I'm not watching these presentations no more. I'm just not watching these long ass presentations no more. I refuse. And like it's just like so boring slash dragged out to where it's like you're not gonna everything you show me is not gonna be a banger in my eyes. So what's the point? I remember watching these shows. I think I started watching these shows in 2011. I used to wake up on the day of the presentation started showing, and I'd be there for on the Spike TV. This is when I had cable. So on Direct TV, I think Spike TV was 241 if I'm not mistaken. I think they now changed it to Paramount Network or whatever. But I used to watch the E3 shows on Spike, and then for whatever reason, they didn't do the Sony show on Spike, so I had to go on the internet and watch that. And it was pretty. I enjoyed it. I even downloaded a couple of the E3 episodes on my PS3 when that was a thing. You can download the shows and stuff of what they showed from the PSN network. And yeah, I really enjoyed watching E3. But after a time, I just told myself I don't know what it was, but I'm like I'm not watching these long dragged out shows no more. Like just give me I can watch somebody recapping the show in a good 20 to 30 minute video, and that's about it. Especially if that person is going to be somebody I normally watch. One of the people that I used to watch for that was like Stone Fox Media. He used to recap them. Now I'm watching like newer YouTubers recap videos and stuff like that of the presentations. But me personally, yeah, I haven't watched a full show from them probably since like 2016 or 2017. And honestly, I don't really care because at the end of the day, if you got a product that you're going to be showing or you want to show, or you just got a good product that you want to display, you just got to upload a video out there. It's going to be on the internet. It's going to be on the internet. It's going to get to me the same way that an E3 show would have got to me as well. And by the way, E3, in my opinion, is just mainly for hardcore gamers, people who's definitely in the stratosphere of this genre, of this medium, I meant to say. And honestly, I don't think any of the casual gamers would miss this show. I know a good amount of hardcore gamers would miss it, but me as a hardcore gamer, I'm definitely not gonna miss E3 because at the end of the day, it's just a big ass commercial for all these studios, and they can do these commercials without E3 easily. Well, probably even more easier than with E3. So whatever the best way to get stuff out there for consumers or whatever, for the journalists or the gaming channels or the gaming news or whatever, I think whatever they're doing now is probably more easier and more cheaper. But yeah, I don't ever think I had like a favorite show. I think maybe I guess when the PS4 was launching, that was a pretty good show, but that's because they were releasing no new hardware. I think I do remember my favorite one. I would say it was 2013 Xbox E3. I know, like, what are you talking about, dude? I think they showed so many good games, and I think to this day I'm gonna go into this another topic about this, but about Xbox, but Xbox E3 in the 2013 E3 was so good. It was pretty good. They actually have a lot of good shows, and I always enjoy watching them Xbox shows because man, I always wanted a Xbox. I couldn't have both systems at the time. I only had to pick one, so I picked PlayStation. But it was always cool to see what the other guys was getting, and there's always some good shows over there. But the origin of E3 was mainly just in case y'all didn't know, the origin of E3 was really just for developers at the time to get together, or publishers, or like retail chains to get together and realize what they want to do and stuff like that. But now it just became one big ass commercial for hardcore gamers, and at the end of the day, you can do those commercials without a E3 name attached to it. Case this year, I guess the Summer Game Fest, even with the Summer Game Fest, like I don't need us. You don't need Summer Game Fest to release these, commercials. You just don't need them. You just don't need it. It doesn't make sense. But hey, at least he got that going for them. I know it can help with indies, but it can definitely help with indies. These shows, but with AAA games from major studios, definitely do not need them. You do not need them. But yeah, anyway, I don't, and another thing is, I don't blame a lot of these people for not doing these shows no more. In case you didn't know, E3 was a lot of toxicity around it. I mean, this toxicity is around everywhere. It's definitely everywhere, especially in the gaming sector. But yeah, I mean, one of the E3 shows, I didn't fully witness this. Now I'm not a religious type guy, so I understand that this could have offended some people. But I remember one of the things that Sony did to show off The Last of Us 2 was they had Ellie, and I think her name was Dina, uh holding arms and stuff, hugging each other, dancing, and I guess they kissed. And it's like, I think they made it like the theme of the show right there at that moment to like a chapel or something like that. And dude, it was just so negative. It was like, these people just sit right here, put on a good show, try to put on a show, and like all they got was like negative. And I'm not saying you can't critique them, but man, think about it. It's just like, what's the point of putting all this fancy, editing, all this thought into it, and you're just gonna be like, "What the fuck was this?" And I'm glad they don't do this no more. I'm glad they don't do these over dramatic segments to try to get an emotional response out of somebody. I mean, they even did that with the orchestra. Every time there's a gaming presentation and they got some live orchestra there, I was just like, bro, what are y'all doing, man? It's like, it's not that serious. It's not that serious to be having a live ass orchestra doing this emotional run music, trying to get the hearts pulling, or I don't know, get the tears coming. I don't know what they was trying to do, but it's just always ridiculous. It's not that serious. Just show us the trailer, show us some gameplay, and move on to the next. It's that simple. Oh yeah, I think another terrible show. I think this was during one of the Xbox presentations. I think they were showing off some Battlefield game. They were showing off some Battlefield game, and like the presentation froze for like, the display froze for like 3 minutes. When I tell you, it was a hard time for them right there, but it could have been less harder when everybody in the crowd didn't boo. I mean, I tell you, everybody in the crowd was booing them. I I mean, if I was there, I would have never booed. I was just like, it's understandable. Sometimes you have mistakes, but they literally booed them. Like, the dude wanted to leave the stage. They're like, no, you got to stay on the stage until we get it fixed. I'm like, dude, it was like, if that would have happened to me or my company and I was in charge, I would just make sure I just did live pre-recorded videos and put it up there. No more live presentation shows. It's not worth it. It's not worth it, because yes, there's good times where like Kevin Butler came out there on the presentation show back in the day during the PS3 days, and he did that badass monologue or whatever. And I thought it was pretty cool, but at the end of the day, that's not needed, unfortunately. And to me, the death of E3, it is what it is, And apparently, E3 haven't been here since 2020, so it's literally been 4 years now that E3 hasn't been a thing. Their last official show was in like 2019. And I can't believe that. Like, I look back like, wow, it actually has been that long. It's been 4 years now. So yeah, I could care less.